show live from not New York, but I got New York in. So there you go.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and I
yeah,
and I will
yeah.
and I will tell you, the dim sum darling in the Urban Hawker in New York City is doing very well. And the dumplings,
Okay,
and they have a soup and a dumpling that's out of this world, and it's
yeah.
raining every day, and they're packed. So
Okay.
if you're in New
What's
York
raining?
City,
What's raining every day? New York's
rain,
raining every day.
right, or New York is rainy and miserable, like it should be, like London, I guess. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But so Dim Sum Darling is doing great in New York City. So if you guys are around
Okay.
there, you go
Okay.
to right around the corner from
So
Rockefeller Center.
it's a call out to everybody who loves dumplings then.
It's a call, and they have this new thing where they're doing soup and dumplings, and it's like they can't. It's like they can't. People are
Yeah.
loving it. They're lining up
Can
before
you
it opens.
fondle? Can you fondle the dumplings or
I have
not?
fondled many a dumpling in my day, and
Okay.
so yeah,
Right.
someone's got to. Might
So
as well be me.
talking of fondling dumplings, where you
Roll is
have
here today. Is
yeah,
that where you're going with this?
I'm going with this one. We better get him on the show, Stephen, before he emigrates.
Okay, God forbid. And there he is. He's here. He's live with us. Welcome to
Emigrate.
another show. Immigrate.
Where am I emigrating to?
Yeah, where's he going to?
Oh, you could go
Mars.
upstate, downstate, or to a place of the city we never like to speak about.
New York City.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
all right. I
New
thought you were
York.
going to say like other Sappers like Elon Musk. Maybe I should immigrate to Mars. I'm not sure. I don't know. He's on his way to
Hey,
Mars, isn't he?
I don't know where he's on
talking
his way to.
talking of space related stuff, I heard
Uh-oh.
something this week, right? Okay, and I thought it was pretty weird.
Okay.
It appears that for over 50 years, or since the Apollo missions left the moon,
That aliens are real.
that
No, I'm sorry. Go
no, well, they
ahead.
may well be because there's
Okay.
been a lot of yeah biological material left behind because
I've
evidently
left a
the
lot of
nap
biological material behind on many a day.
the astronauts' nappies have been
Yeah.
left on the moon.
Wow. We littered. And that's when we were running those commercials with the American Indian with the tear. And he would cry so we wouldn't litter. And then we go ahead and litter on the moon. Way to go.
Yeah,
Way to go,
yeah.
America. I
So
think we
so
I
it
think
would be
Mr.
interesting, of course, when we go back, whoever goes back first,
Yeah, yeah.
the Americans or the Chinese or whoever, the
Right,
Indians,
right.
that they're going to try and find these nappies because obviously they want to know if anything has actually happened to the biological material in the last 50 years.
Well, here's what's really funny. But if there's aliens on the moon or people, like say moon people, right? Then what happens? Then theoretically they've cleaned it because why would they want to wait 50, 60 years for us to come back and clean it?
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
or it could be a completely new species.
Oh, do you say nude species or new
Yeah,
species?
a new species
A
based
nude
basically
species.
on
Oh,
a new species
oh,
based
nude.
on
Sorry.
shit, based on
Yeah.
shit actually.
Oh no, there's
Yeah.
countries and we have that here. So and we have
Oh, okay,
companies like that. Yeah, we had a
okay,
whole bunch of
okay.
Mr.
Yeah,
Woods, I think, has lost us because of the South African power surge. So
yeah.
you'll hopefully be
I
back.
think he's been powered out.
I
It's
think so. We'll have to wait a second and see if he makes it back. And if
yeah,
he
because it'll
doesn't, this will.
be a bit difficult to have a show with him if he's not with us.
If I was just gonna say, I did that great promo for Dim Sum Darling. We may just do the show and talk just about Dim Sum Darling all day then.
Yeah.
The Urban Hawker.
Well, yeah,
Make this a commercial just for them.
yeah. It sounds rather a bizarre name, the Urban Hawker. I mean,
So a hawker in Singapore is a place where you go buy food. So if you've ever saw like Crazy Rich Asians or whatever, there's that street scene where they're all eating food. That's a hawker. So what these guys did, so the Urban Hawker in New York City was going to be Anthony Bourdain and another gentleman. I met the other gentleman, and I apologize, I can't remember his name. But he and Anthony were
didn't
going
that
to do
Anthony
something.
guy? Didn't he pass away?
Yeah, he killed
Just
himself
like oh, he
a
killed
couple of years ago.
himself.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what
Okay,
happened was, is so
okay.
this gentleman decided to do it. So so he opened this business. They're going to do it right before COVID. So COVID happens, doesn't open. So we're in New York City in August, and they're going to open in September. So they said, because Charles has DFG noodles in Austin, which is famous. And now we have DFG dumplings in Austin, which is famous now. So they said, can you bring your food here? Because it's all Singaporean flair. And that's how it all started. And so what happens is now, so we have Dim Sum Darling in New York City at the Urban Hawker. And hold on, Mr. Woods may be back with us live. So
Yeah,
while
let's
he's
see.
so we're that's okay. So the
He's the-
gentleman knew Cheryl when she was a famous, in case when I say that, Singaporean actress, and he asked her, since you're a chef and you're pretty famous at that, why don't you open up a hawker? So that's how Dim Sum Darling started. So they've been like since they officially opened, if you will, this month, and they've been playing around November. Like people are pre-lining up before they open up. So if you're in New York
Okay.
City, we're killing time for you. Then if you're in New York City, go to 135 West 50th Street. There's 14 different hawkers, all traditional Singapore food. Dim Sum Darling, of course, has the best Singapore food. However, there's a place that serves Milo. And for you guys that don't know what Milo is, you can look that up online. But that's
He's
it. Yeah,
he's a Belgian pop singer.
he is. But Milo, roll knows what Milo. They serve this. They serve it hot or cold, and then they serve it like 50 different ways.
Built like a Belgian
Yeah,
pop singer.
and the best part about Milo is there's a Chinese market here, and I literally have the big green can of it. I've got like 6 of them because we go through like a can a week. It's like the best stuff in the world. And there you go. So Urban Hawker, New York City, 135 West 50th Street. They owe me money now, big time. And go to Dim Sum Darling. Tell them you saw him on Two Old Farts. And I don't doubt that you'll get anything, but at least you can say you were there and take pictures and send them to us. Okay, Mr. Woods,
Okay.
how are you?
You know about
Yeah.
Milo. I mean,
Dude, I drink Milo. Wait, I got one better for you.
Wow.
Hold on. Wait, keep going. Keep talking.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Dave, obviously you know all about Milo. Sure.
Yeah, he's a Belgian pop artist. I keep telling everybody that, but nobody seems to be
What, you
interested.
drink him, do you? That could be
Well,
awkward. Do you like
there
him
you
hot
go.
or cold?
There you go.
It's from one of those richest
There's
families in the world.
There's you go. There's your Milo, people.
Yeah,
There's your Milo.
I'm thoroughly impressed. I am.
Yeah.
When I lived there, you couldn't get it. That's obviously fairly new. Or you imported it.
No. There's an Asian market here, and I go, and every time I go, I get 5 or 6 of these.
I may be talking absolute nonsense, which is very likely.
Are you being paid by Nestle for this, or?
Screw Nestle's. Anyway, the Milo is
not while it goes on the street. But
only New York City pays me.
Anyway, Roald, you were going. Well, we were actually, while you were away, we were just discussing American shit on the moon. But now you're back. We could just carry on with our normal conversation.
I was
About
just going to
American
say
shit on the moon.
okay. I was just going to say that Milo, as far as I know, I think it started in Australia. Maybe wrong, maybe right. I think so.
I'm not sure. I know it's very big in Singapore. Very big in Singapore.
Huge,
yeah, in Singapore as well, because Cheryl told me when she was a kid that was her favorite after-school drink. Like they'd come home for Milo, and I was like, "That's awesome." So I use that instead of coffee.
Well, here's the thing: growing up, what we would do, and this is probably the worst thing you can do for your kidneys, and that's why everybody is dead now. No, I'm kidding. No, we used to have a break room when we were kids. When I say kids, boarding school, 13, 14 years old, and we would take out tins of Milo, but we wouldn't drink it. We would scoop out teaspoonfuls of the stuff and just eat it.
Yep.
Yeah, but
that's what Cheryl does. That's what she does. Yeah.
Is this like a Nesquik or something? Is that what it is to make?
Remember? Did you ever have Ovaltine in the UK?
Really?
You don't know Milo? Did you have Ovaltine in the UK?
Oh, it's better than Ovaltine.
I know it's better than Ovaltine. I'm just saying, think of Ovaltine, but better. That's what this is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
It's butch.
Yeah.
Okay, so you add water to it?
I left for a dyke. Then no, it's not your most comfortable shoes. It's just wonderful. 2 snips and a zip. Anyway, go ahead. What the hell?
So were you supposed to add water to it or milk to it? Or are you supposed to snort it? Do you snort it?
Way, and I'll tell you my way. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's 2 ways I've seen them do it at the hawker. So here's how I've seen. You can add. What we do at home is we just add hot water to it, and it's beautiful. I've seen them do it in New York where they'll add the hot water and a little bit of condensed milk, and it's like and then your choice is hot or cold. And so depending, you can add ice cubes or you can add hot.
Another way. Here's another one, Steve. This is what you do.
Okay.
What you do is you take a bit of warm water, not hot water, because then you kill all the good stuff in it.
Right.
A bit of warm water.
All the E numbers, you mean?
Right. And you mix up the paste, right?
Yeah.
And then you fill it up with hot milk. That's the way you make
it.
And you top it with cream, with whipped cream.
Oh, nice. They don't top it with whipped cream. They don't top it with whipped cream in New York, but they at the Hawker. And that Hawker is the only place in the city that actually has Milo. It's very cool. I mean, like I was like when we got there and I was like, oh, there's Milo. And in the beginning, the line would be out the door for it. And now it's just like a normal, they've got their, they can get people in and out pretty quick. But the Milo is delicious.
So there's a guy in New York with Milo. Hey, well, I'm going to give him this. Anybody who lives in New York knows what these are. Hang on, there.
Oh, yeah, he gets it. Yeah, we have one too. We got an A as well. So we all had A's. Yes.
Was that a piece of paper, or are you
protesting? It's a rating. So in New York City, when you're a restaurant, you get an A, B, or C. If you have an A, that's good. B is like you got to fix a few things. If you got a C, they're going to close you down. And everybody needs a.
Is that what they're doing in China now? That they're closing everything down because they got blank pieces of paper?
No, China's just closing down because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
That's no longer around, apparently.
Because you do realize that adding pieces of paper to this conversation actually confuses me.
Yes, we're well aware. And we have lots of paper. Look.
And that's why I did it.
That's right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got lots of paper.
Please don't do that, Roald. Please, it's just too much.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's how. So that's A, how the Urban Hawker came about in New York City. And two, that's how they have literally everyone's from Singapore that I met that works there. All the stuff is like traditional Singaporean food. It's beauty. Like, I mean, if you got nothing to do or if you're hungry at lunch, there's one girl they told me that came to our Hawker, the Dim Sum Darling, from San Francisco, like a 10-year-old girl. Fridays they tried it. Her dad said Saturday and Sunday when they woke up every day at the hotel, she's like, I want to go back there and have their food. So that's that.
Why is it that Asian food is so healthy? And I'm not. It is.
Yeah,
what is it about? They've just got their stuff together. It's crazy. And what I love about Asian food, you can pick a country: India, Singapore, Thailand, you name it. You have the food, and at the end of it, you don't feel all chucked up like our food, which is.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. If you eat traditional Asian, yes. If you eat American Asian, then like when we go to the Asian restaurants here, we eat traditional. Like I see what the Americans order, and I see what the Asians order. So we order the Asian side of it. So it's like all vegetables and a little bit of rice, but the Americans have all rice with a little bit of vegetables and whatever. So it's very different. And at I go do, I guess, a show about the Hawker. But at the Hawker, like they have the Singaporean chicken dish, which is the national Singapore dish. Like everything is very almost healthy. There's some stuff that's not, but most of it, even the desserts are light and fluffy, and you eat one or two, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like I can go function today. It's not like I eat them and I'm going to die. And if they ever see this interview, hey, you guy that started the Urban Hawker, we took a picture together. Call us. We'll do an interview, or talk to Cheryl and she'll hook us up. There you go. But it'd be cool to hear his whole story because he told it to me and I thought it was fascinating. So I thought that'd be a cool story for people to hear if they're into food and why they thought it. But he and Bourdain used to travel the world, and this is how they came up with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, of course, food is always related to what you have to use in order to cook it, because in China there was always a tax on cooking wood, on kindle, and so people would have very little of it, and they'd have to cook very fast, and so the whole kitchen developed in that. You know, if you talk about traditional British food, for instance, these long cooked casseroles on a reasonably slow heat, it's because a lot of it would be cooked on coal or on peat. So yeah, you do see these sort of differentiations come within all the different countries, and it may well attribute to the fact that you have to have something reasonably quick and fresh and healthy anyway to start off with, as opposed to the traditional British kitchen where you just try and kill as much stuff as you can as long as possible. So but there you go.
Great. Very cool. Well, I think we've covered the food part of our show. Thank you for listening, everybody. Yeah. The Galloping Gourmet will be back next week. That's the opening, apparently. That's the opening segment. Apparently, well, your power died, so we had to cover something. So we discussed Dim Sum Darling.
Yeah. Well, we didn't discuss it actually because Stephen decided to shamelessly promote it, which is fine. You know,
why not?
Hey,
Why not?
why not? Somebody's got to.
He just managed to find a story where he could get the name of that city in as many times as possible, just because it's wrapped around a restaurant which happens to be there. But there you go.
In New York City. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephen.
There you go, New York City.
I'm afraid, Roald, he's got it all. He's got it zipped up, mate. We're not. We get diddly from his tourist deal. Trust me. I've not seen a dime, and he talks about it every week. So,
how do you think I afford my Milo? How do you think I afford the Milo?
Well, I'm sure the Nestle family needed the money, Stephen.
They did. They called me the other day and they said they were just a few shekels shy of the next billion they needed level to get to, and I didn't want them to, be broke. I wanted to help them out.
Yeah.
But I'm serious about that alternative method for making Milo. You got to try.
I am now going to try that. I'm going to go out and get milk later, and that's exactly what I'm going to try to do.
Nothing must be boiling. Just remember that. Nothing must be boiling. It's just warm water, just to dissolve all the granules.
Yeah.
Warm milk, dollop of cream on the top.
Okay. Well, see, I don't boil the water. I use a coffee maker. I use a coffee maker. So my coffee maker does the water like it would make coffee, but with just water. And then I pour the stuff's already in the cup, and then I pour the water into the cup, so it's not boiling. So it's just hot enough to dissolve it.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
but now
did I miss the memo this morning? Have we turned into a cooking show now? Is that what it is?
And later you'll need 14 sticks of Irish butter, and then now we can go on to more serious topics.
So what are we now? Two old cooks? Is that what is that?
We're still two old farts, but we just happened we had to kill some time. We've killed the time, and you're welcome, Urban Hawker and Dim Sum Darling. Go eat there, and now we'll talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah, because you dropped out on us, and last time we spoke to you, you were suffering from a power outage. But you told us before the show you'd been to see a doctor, so that problem's been solved. It was saying.
Yeah. All checked out. All the numbers are good, which is fine. That's nice. I will say we've had a lot of problems with our power situation. This is what happens when they steal all the money. We've got it's a fantastic government we have here. I've got to tell you, it's very exciting. Very exciting.
I just saw something in the news, though. Isn't your guy up for like corruption and a whole bunch of stuff? Like there's a whole bunch of things going on.
Are you talking about Ramaphosa?
Yeah.
Well, I call him rum and cola.
Okay.
He's still Ramaphosa, and I do a thing on him, and I call him Squirrel Rum and Cola.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't know for a fact what he's done or what he hasn't done. Everything's just really been kept secret. There was some money that was moved around, and people are talking a lot about it. There's a lot of blunder and bluster. But I have to say, the general feeling is he's probably the least corrupt amongst them, which isn't saying much. We really don't know. There's a couple of people that have been found guilty of corruption. We've had commissions of inquiry. There's been a lot of talk inside the ANC, which seems to be splitting up now, which actually might be a good thing for the country. I think, quite frankly, we don't want one strong party dominating. And I think what you're going to see over the next couple of years is a fragmentation of the politics here, which is good. It's kind of like a coalition thing. We don't want an Israel situation where you have a government every 5 minutes. That we don't want. Right. But
apparently Britain now too, because Britain apparently has a government every 5 minutes as well. I know.
Britain, exactly. Or the UK. Exactly. We don't want that. But I think it's exciting.
Germany, who has people that are trying to overthrow it. Apparently 25 of them were arrested today.
That's right. 25 of them. That's right. No, things are looking interesting here. I will say, during the apartheid years, a lot of things were kept quiet. So you can't really say it was better or worse because you just really didn't know. The difference now is that I will say, I'll credit these guys. They're a lot more transparent than what we had in the past. But that isn't necessarily a good thing, because now you're seeing everything, and maybe it is a good thing. So, and I think also the ANC came in as an anti-apartheid beacon of hope for the country, and that was great 30 years ago. Now you've got a new generation of kids who are saying, well, thank you for your service, but you were a revolutionary dinosaur. What we want now is economics and not politics. And that's people of every color and description. They just want to make money. They're not interested in politics or blaming the past. And when I say kids, I'm talking folks in their 20s and 30s who never really experienced apartheid, who've just grown up normal with a normal life. This is a fairly normal country sort of below 40, 35. 35, 40 plus, there's a legacy of division and prejudice. And these two things are going on right now. I think in years to come, things should balance out a bit. But we're going through that transition phase right now where, we're just trying to figure out, who's the next person that's going to lead the country. And I have no idea who that's going to be, to be honest. No,
I think every country's now trying to figure that out, because I think, the world's changing and they don't know I don't think people realize what they want anymore. It's going to get worse.
I tell you, Steve, I think what's really exciting is we've got a guy here. I don't want to promote him too much because he's had so much promotion already, but he's the grandson of one of the mining giants that started here in Johannesburg, which has got this vein of gold and platinum and uranium that just extends right across the Highveld, as they call it. And way back in the day, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, his grandfather or great-grandfather realized there was a lot of stuff that was under the ground. So he got mining rights, and then we had Anglo Gold. Anglo, it's a big mining group here, and they made a lot of money. And then there was a guy called Basil, and then there was a guy called Rob, who's the current guy. His name's Rob Hersov. And what he's doing is he's worked with people like Warren Buffett. He went to a fancy school down the road from me. It's another school. He's a little older than me. He worked with people like Warren Buffett. He's in investment. He was in money and goodness knows what. So apparently he knows all about capital and finance and investment. And he had lots of things to say about the government and how horrible they were. And then 5 years ago, he decided to emigrate back to South Africa and now lives in Cape Town. And he's become this massive thorn in the side of the government. And what's interesting is he believes, his name is Rob Hersov, what he believes is that he's actually been on record as saying there's a wall, literally a wall of capital. Now, he's in touch with global markets, so he would know. He said there's a wall of capital that's waiting to come here, not to do South Africa any favors. That's not what it's about. There's an opportunity here that starts here and extends across the continent because it's untapped. There's so much that hasn't been done, and everybody knows that. There's so much corruption. There's so much mismanagement. If you can put a couple of people in jail, if you can show that there are consequences for corruption, he says what's going to happen is people will go, all right, so my money could actually be safe in that country. And there certainly is a lot of money to be made and a lot of opportunity. And what's exciting is there's a younger generation of people of all, like I say, all flavors who see that. And they looking at the older folk and saying, why are we so worried about this color thing? What is that? It's an historical thing which we should be aware of. Let's not do that again. It's like the Second World War. Let's not have any more Holocaust, please. Let's not forget that. Let's not do that. But right now, we want to make money. And that's what we need to concentrate on. So, quite frankly, if we stay on the greedy, money-orientated path, we'll be fine.
Great. You'll be like America and China. Congratulations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't worry about politics. Money. That's what makes the world go around.
Listen, at the end of the day, that's the only thing that makes the world go around is money. All these people are like, oh, you need money. You need money for everything, because if you don't have it, then it doesn't work. And I don't think people understand.
I did have it. I had lots of it from that crypto stuff.
Oh, yeah.
David, FTX, what was it called? Oh,
yeah,
dear.
FTX. They're all going out of business.
No. Yeah, I think it was more like I think the one I used was FDO, which meant for fuck Dave over, I think. But that was the just for me. That was the exchange I used. Yeah.
No, but I will say, sorry, I don't want to make this a whole thing about this place, but I think there's a very exciting. Well, why not?
New York, South Africa, who cares?
It's an exciting time for this country, and as Hersov says, we've got a big election coming up in May 2024, and
so do we.
Yes, and so that if there's a good political shift and we get some of these opposition parties into play, and people, as I say, can see this consequence, it's going to be a good period. If not, that'll be the end of the play. Simple as that. Because as you said, Steve, money is what makes the world go round. And according to the people that deal with the money people, there's a lot of people who are interested in coming here. I think you even might have said, people, but they need to know they've got the money and they say, we can see the potential, we can see the opportunity, we can see the links, the veins of opportunity, the infrastructure. We've been there. Looks like it's reasonably first world in some areas, bit third world in others, but that's not the point. There's so much we can do. It's an opportunity for us. By the way, Amazon is actually opening in South Africa and Nigeria in February, which is interesting.
I will tell you this though, if I may.
See. You will, yes.
Here's the interesting thing. Yes. You had some rugby teams that went up for sale, and we actually were looking at the rugby teams. Part of the issue was the people that one of the guys that was involved. I said, "Listen, we need this presentation because this is what people want to see." And I asked them for it on a Friday. 3 weeks later, I got it.
Oh.
And by then, everybody who wanted to be part of possibly doing it, other than the SPAC that we had, was sort of like, how do we trust these guys then? Like, nobody wants to go live there and run the team. They were going to have all these other, like the two other people involved were like, one was a famous rugby guy, which you guys know, right? And he could run we're all happy. The attorney, happy. This one guy who's supposed to do what he was supposed to do, he's like, I'm busy. I'm like, dude, we've got people that want to like be a player. And the SPAC's already telling you this is not falling into what they want. We have 10 other players. You want to do something or you don't want to do something? And it's 3 weeks later when I got it, I called everyone's like, everyone's out. And then then their comments were like, well, you didn't have real buyers. I'm like, no. We had guys that like literally there's one of them out of Korea who's, probably instead of the 3-digit comma club, which is more like a 4-digit comma club. And he was like, dude, what they want for that is like my daily interest. Like I'll write a check. I will do this deal. He was excited because of everything that came with it. And like they couldn't get out of their own way. And then they're blaming it on us that, nobody knew what. I was like, really? We brought you a SPAC that dealt in sports. We brought you like 3 law firms, 6 family offices, just a multi-billionaire who wanted to beat because they all thought it was really cool. And on Friday, they're like, no problem, you'll have it. I didn't realize that when they say no problem, you'll have it, that was 3 weeks. So part of the other issue investing in South Africa is the lackadaisicalness. And I think that's an issue because everything's time sensitive, especially when there's like a deadline in the bid. And I'm like, here it is. And I'm like, dude, the bid's in 3 days. No one's going to read this. Like when I asked for it October 1st, that's when they would have read it. November 1st and the bid's on the 3rd, everyone's out. And they're like, well, that's your fault. But they don't take responsibility. Yeah.
I would say this to you. Well, first of all, I'd say you should have said to him, have you heard of the phrase strike while the iron is hot?
Yeah, we already did.
The next thing is what you ran into is a problem I have in that for this place, any country, in fact, to function properly, economics needs to dictate politics. That's how it's supposed to work. What the country needs economically, you go back to the politicians and you say, we need this foreign trade policy, we need that. You guys need to get in line because we're making money. That's it. And you are out there representing us in ways that we can make money, making friends with people that we can make money with, countries, all of that. Right. Unfortunately, what you have here, the lackadaisicalness that you refer to is a situation where politics is dictating economics. It's the other way around. Okay. So there is definitely a generational divide. I think over the next 50, well, it's not quick enough, unfortunately, that's the problem. Right. Over the next period of time, you will see a younger mindset bleeding into the South African society. That's and I think a lot of that is going to disappear. But you still have the old guard and a lot of people who, well, Steve, there's no other way to say it. They feel very entitled that they deserve something. But
here's the problem: the kid that we were dealing with, he's this 20, 30-year-old generation. The problem is, I guess he feels he's entitled, but the issue is there's no sense of urgency. Well, and you're right. There's no sense of urgency, and that's what I've noticed globally. If you don't have a sense of urgency, you're screwed. And I found in business that if you can't go boom, 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 like when people are like, we're really interested in this. And I told you I talked to everybody on Thursday and Friday. I'm like, there's a sense of urgency here. They want this on Monday. And you're like, I'm going to get it out to you. I don't mean Monday in 3 weeks. I mean Monday now. I mean, like you should have had it out to me like Saturday because everybody was like, this is cool. Yeah.
Stephen, is that a very American thing? This
sense of urgency? No. Are you kidding? You do business in Asia. It's like New York City. I'm thinking of it. I should already have the piece of paper done and it's ready to go. Yeah. So no, there's
okay. So what is it then? Is this sort of almost
I
European
think
legacy then? The Europeans,
I can explain.
Sure.
Too much sunshine.
So I think also the other thing that you're running into is it's not a sense. It's this country was isolated for so long. It was for many years. It was this little, and rightfully so. I may add, rightfully so. It was a good thing. It forced decisions to be made that had to be made, which was good. But what it did also is it created this culture of this isolationist culture. We're a special case. Everyone,
you're special,
thinking about us. Right. And when South Africa joined the world community again in the mid-90s, that was good. But I still don't think there is a sense that amongst these people you're talking about, that there is a sense of, look, mate, your political problems are fixed. Now we just want to do money. We're not. You're not a handicapped case. We're not sending people to your embassy. We're not going to go and protest outside your embassy. We dealt with that. It's finished. It's over. We're not doing you any favors. Now we're just all here making money, and you are part of the rat race. That's it. There isn't the sense. There's still a sense here that people owe us something. They owe us something. We should get something, and they must just understand and wait for us to make decisions. I'll give you an example. I went into a meeting about 6 months ago, and there was a gentleman that I had to see. I arrived at 8 o'clock because that's when the meeting was. He arrived at 1 o'clock, and I was told that this is it's a demonstration of power, of authority. Right. So if you arrive on time, I won't say it's everybody. I'm not going to paint everybody with the same brush, but it's almost as if that is almost a sign of weakness. You don't arrive on time. If I am more powerful than you and I'm trying to show you, I'm lifting my leg on your situation, I arrive late. I keep you waiting. It is almost my duty to waste your time and keep you waiting. I don't understand it. I'm sure you don't. Dave doesn't. But I can tell you it is very much a part of the situation. Everywhere? No. But it's there. It's a sense, I'm going to, you owe me, and I'm going to keep you waiting.
I'm glad they kept us waiting for 3 weeks, and we didn't piss away $50 million. So it worked out well for us. So we're good. But see,
we don't. It's not everyone. It's not everyone.
No, I understand, but that has to change. It's like I've done deals all over the planet, right? And so there are some countries where we've sat there from 8 to 5, and you wait because you have to. But when I'm talking about buying like a sports team, or I'm talking about doing a deal or an acquisition or something, if you can't get your shit together, then seriously, like, what the fuck? Like, who wants to do business with you? The other issue, though, in your country, and nothing against South Africa, I mean, it's a beautiful place, is your central bank has a problem. That was the other issue. We'd say, how do we get our money out? Like, they'll take money in, but getting it out. And we were like, we would need to have a meeting with the central bank, because they were like, well, you can take some of the profit. Now, I'm like, I don't know if you realize this, but, if the team makes $10 million a year, no one has a problem leaving 3 or 4 or 5 of it in South Africa, because you got to keep operations going. You want to bonus people out. I said, but the people who put the money in are at some point going to want to pull money out. And if your government's going to be like, well, you can only take like $6.27 out. I don't want to be rude, but that's not going to work. So as your country, and as my landsman that you were just talking about, saying everyone's waiting to bring money in, no one's bringing money in if you can't get money out. Correct. So, and that's something your central government and your central bank, has to come up with a plan. Well, Amazon's different because they reinvest it in that country constantly.
Yeah, but also that I'm not sure how they're going to work it, but they won't. I don't know, that maybe they'll keep the transactions out the country. I'm not sure. But that I can't answer that. But I do know they're coming in, and I do know they're going only into Nigeria and here. Right. But Steve,
do you know there's a prince in Nigeria that if you help him get $30 million, so you can help him, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you bring Amazon to
you. But he told me I was the only one that he was going to contact regarding that.
He told everybody.
I've already given him our bank details.
Okay, good. Well, that's good, because God, you won't be scammed there. So.
I'm going to give him all my crypto money.
Yeah, you should give him every penny of that.
Yeah.
There you go, Dave.
And I've got some dates lined up. Not the ones to eat. I've got some dates lined up with some Russian ladies who will want to marry me. So it's
Nice.
going pretty good. It's going pretty good. Yeah.
You're doing really good, David.
With vision,
Yeah,
can they see?
yeah.
These are sighted women.
I believe so because they send me these wonderful letters.
Yeah,
They send me these wonderful letters.
Nice.
And the other thing is that I'm currently taking these tablets, which have also been advised by somebody who just very kindly emailed me, and now I have a penis that's about 3.5 meters long. So
wow, that is awesome.
You know what
I'm
can
going
I
to
say?
scrub my eyeballs now.
Yeah, that's a vision I don't want to see. But so for the people outside the inside the United States, the rest of the world understands 3.5 meters is about 19.5 feet. Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
So So
but
congratulations.
this would thank you. These are all the things that were promised, and you know, it's just I just have to wait now. I'm not quite sure whether or not I'm going to get these ladies that are going to come back every day or every week. But they, you know, I've had to sort of front up the flight money and everything for them to come here.
Of course.
But I've done that. I've done that on my FDO using my FDO account, and what's left over from what I've given to the Nigerian prince. So it's
nice.
Things are looking up, guys.
I know. I see that. I can't wait to meet your Russian bride. So
yeah.
Like I said,
well, I should be rushing to see her. But
stupid question. When did the Queen pass away?
Like a month or two ago.
Okay. I had something from some
Are you counting the days? Or?
Pardon?
Are you counting the days? So, like an advent calendar? Another one gone. It's the Republican advent calendar. Another day gone. Another day gone.
Oh, here we go. Here it is. I found it. Okay. So here it is. Here it is. Now the Queen has passed on. All monetary notes apparently are no longer valid and need to be replaced with ones with King Charles III's picture on them. Wow. So what you need to do is send in your old notes and we will send you new ones. And the address to send to is Mr. Andrew Bailey, Bank of England, Box 1414, Lagos, Nigeria.
Right. Andrew Bailey. Love it. Andrew Bailey. Yeah, I mean, but he is the chairman. He is the chairman.
And he'll send you new
ones. He's the chairman of the Bank of England, is he not, Mr. Bailey?
But I like the fact that he has a P.O. box in Nigeria because, you know, he wants to keep it outside the country. I think that's the important thing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
David, that's where your Russian brides are coming from, too.
Yeah. Can you put that in the chat for me after the show? Because
I'll send you address. I'll send you his address. Yes. Very helpful guy. He was very keen to, only too keen to help. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. Andrew Bailey.
But I'll tell you what, talking about the banknotes with Lizzie on it, I think by the time all of those have come out of circulation,
he'll be
diminished in circulation. He'll be like William the 10th or something.
Maybe they should just start with William's face on it now and just start.
Wouldn't that make sense? Because he's going to be the king when his dad dies, right? So in 20 years, he'll be what? Maybe 50. Yeah. His dad's 70. So by the time, I would just put the kid on it now.
Actually, he'll be 60. William.
Really, in 20 years? He's 40 now?
He's 40.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. Wow. Like you, I remember when he was born in 1982. It was 40 years ago.
Let's not get carried away. I don't remember when he was born, but
No, I don't really care when he was. I don't really care when he was born because I happen to be a Republican. But there you go.
Oh my God. It's very political. This is a very political show today.
I have.
Yeah, well, it's just there's something which is very un-British, but unfortunately, that's how it is. But there you go.
Very, very cool.
You know, I voted for the other guy. You know, was it William? You know, like Cromwell. I had him.
Oliver Cromwell.
Yeah, I love. Yeah. Oh, I thought his name was Cromwell. Are we doing? We're doing a cooking show again.
Dave, then you're obviously not going to like this. Look what's on my wall.
Let's zoom in on this.
Oh, it's at every.
King and that's awesome. King and Queen of England.
Just hold on, please.
Oh, David's got something now. We're gonna do the 1-up thing. I'm gonna have to go grab my can of Milo.
Oh, there he goes. He's rifling through his old papers. What's he got?
Wait. He's coming. He's coming with
down with the monarchy or something. What's it?
What do you have, David? Can't see it yet.
Okay.
Can't.
So
Oh, look at that! It's the old UK. It's the old United Kingdom map, I think, with Prince
I don't know.
Charles or somebody in there. I can't really tell, David.
We can't see
No.
it, Dave. Get rid of your background.
Yeah, can't see it with the background.
Right.
Nope,
Well,
your background is-
unfortunately, my son bought me that, so I have to hang it on the wall.
Oh, very nice. We'll take a picture of that and we'll stick it in so people can see it.
All right. So
What is that?
exactly?
Is that a map? Yeah. What is that a map of?
Yeah.
It's a map of the UK, and also it has all the kings and all the other bollocks to go on it. But
All the other bollocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the other bollocks. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
we can have a discussion about republicanism because it's a very fashionable thing.
Dave, I just find it interesting. I could care less whether there's a king or a queen. It means absolutely nothing to me.
Unless you're in San Francisco or Key West, that's the only time you need a queen.
I will say, I don't know if I'm accurate in saying this, but I will say that if you take the whole monarchy thing out of the UK right now in 2022,
right?
Why would you go there?
Yeah, really. Like, what's there to see?
I mean, it's my.
Well,
it's
you can go to the UK.
Why would you go there?
Well, let's go. Let's all go this week, right? Which means we'll all be stuck at an airport or a railway station or at the ferry station because no trains are running. Then there's no heating on because it's so fucking so expensive. And so we'll all die of hypothermia. But before we die of hypothermia, we can then actually wait for another 3 hours or half a day for an ambulance to truck up because they're all on strike as well. So look at that. It's going great in the UK. We can thank the Tories for that.
I will say, Dave, the strike thing is an example. It's crazy, but I see that whole striking thing going on. I think to myself, that is as they're as unaware of their impact. How can I put this? You need to see yourself in a larger sense. So if you're a train driver or whatever it is that you may have a gripe, but if you go and strike and do all those sorts of things, and there's a big problem here with what we were talking about earlier. It's not just your country. You need to see yourself in a global sense. And that's one of the problems we have
you're
here.
You're talking about the Brits now.
When I see striking workers there, I go, you're not seeing the big picture. And it's as much as...
Well, there is a very famous headline from a newspaper in the 1930s. And it said, fog in the channel, continent cut off. And,
wow.
And that just about says it all. Because it is an island and it has an island mentality, it has a fortress mentality. Where is the last place to go if you're a worker? The last place to go, last thing you want to do is go on strike and lose money.
I know.
But I'm not necessarily supporting any strikes or anything which will bring people of any danger. But I mean, after all these years of Tory government, surely, somebody will eventually wake up and say, look, guys, all those promises were empty and, going to hell in a handcart.
So you're waiting for people to wake up?
In which case it would have been, hell in a Hancock. But he'd gone off to be in the jungle. She should have stayed there. There you go.
So you're waiting for people to wake up. You're relying on human intelligence. Is that what you're saying?
No, because I'm a Brit.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Never do that. There's limitless. Human stupidity is limitless.
All I can do is rant and rave and get trolled on the internet for my remarks about being a Republican. Because I have no right to vote, which we've spoken about before in the show. So I'm totally disenfranchised. I have a UK passport, which means I can't go anywhere technically in Europe without having it stamped. It's pants.
It's just ridiculous. I'm actually trying to get myself a German passport, but we'll see. My wife's got a German passport. Yeah, because of what Dave said, that's exactly what I wanted for. I don't know. I just, I get on the Eurostar and I just find myself apologizing to all those French people who think it's hysterically funny. My French is okay, so they appreciate. We chat and we talk, and they'll say to me in French, "Yeah, you at least you're making an attempt. At least you're talking, which is great." And then the one French guy says to me, he says, "No, don't worry, we speak English because my English is better than your French." But the point is, they're actually very funny, and I find myself, when I was last there, as Dave said, you got your passport, and it almost feels like you're pushing a pile of turd over the counter and going,
right.
Okay, we didn't like you. We left. We thought you guys were a bunch of fucking idiots. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, Dave. It's not a good look.
No, it's worth nothing now, and I have to seriously consider whether or not I will apply for Dutch citizenship. And
Dave,
I don't really want to do it because it'll make me a plastic Dutchman, and
Dave,
I won't feel in any way, shape, or form.
Blonde tussle there. You want a joke? I'll give you a joke. You want to vote for me? I'll give you a joke. I'll give you a joke. He was an absolute buffoon. What do they call him? He was like the British Trump. It was fantastic. Such a character.
And he's trying to come back. So we got that going for us.
And you know what?
Well, maybe he'll come on the show.
Let me tell you, Steve, he's in with a shot. That's what's crazy about the British political system. He's actually
I've got some seriously bad news for you and some seriously great news for Stephen. Because he's an American, he will probably go and become a president of America. There you go.
Yeah,
you had Trump, you get Boris.
Oh, you should know, Dave. This is good news for you, Steve. Good news. As far as I know, I stand corrected as always. Usually, I'm always wrong, but
You normally see it.
I think he renounced his U.S. citizenship. I think
Who did? Who?
Boris.
No, that's bollocks.
Wow.
No, I don't think he did. He still has it. You
can't like Ted Cruz.
That's extremely difficult to do that, to give up an American passport. Let's
but from a tax point of view, it makes sense apparently.
Yeah, not really, because you pay them X percent. Like the kid who founded Facebook with Zuckerberg, he renounced his U.S. citizenship, became a Singaporean citizenship, paid his 30%, and now he lives in Singapore.
So are you agreeing with me,
David?
Am I about what, Roald?
No, Steve, are you agreeing with me that it's not a bad thing for him to have done or a good thing?
No, I mean, if you're giving up your U.S. list, and I mean, how do I say this so it's not sounding horrible? There's a lot of people I know that have decided not to be in the United States, not just because when Trump was president, just for a lot of things, and whether they're in Thailand, they're in Spain, they have now do citizenships, or they have their 20-year visas. Some of them won't give up their citizenship because, like they said, you just never know. Because right now we're the best of what you've got, and others are getting dual. A lot of the countries will let you get dual citizenship, so they're doing a lot what they call the golden visas or golden passports, because I think they're not sure. So when they travel, one of my friends, when he travels in Europe, he uses his European passport. He won't use his U.S. passport. When he travels to Asia, he'll use his European. He says with a U.S. passport, he feels like a target.
I see, Dave.
So
have a look. He did renounce his U.S. citizenship. There you go. Boris Johnson renounced his U.S. citizenship 6-7 years ago. There you go.
So now he can't be king. Look at that. So now it's only Trump.
Can I just apologize to all our listeners for talking more bollocks than I normally talk?
That's fine. Without the bollocks, David, what were we?
I wanted to give Steve some good news. That was the point of that.
That was the good news. That's very exciting for me.
Boris Johnson cannot be president of the United States, and I think everybody.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame.
He put it in the private chat.
I would, I don't read that because it's private. But I wouldn't have voted. Yeah, well, in fact, I would have voted. I would have voted for him.
I can tell you, there's a lot.
I say, Boris, please go anywhere else. What we could do, of course, I'll tell you what I could do, because I got all this money coming from this Nigerian guy.
Yes.
I'm going to have, and the I got watching something come on. I think my FDO
funds. Anything else larger, do you?
And then you have your Russian bribes coming.
No, my FDO fund seems to have enlarged itself. But anyway,
that's your prostate.
Thank you. But what I could do with all that extra money I'm now getting from the Nigerians, I can invest in a pan-Atlantic tripwire, and then Boris, of course, because he loves tripwires, we could put him on in the UK, and then just tug him across to the US, and people would pay to see it, and that would cover some of the hole I've got in my FDO.
There you go.
Dave, they used to go and visit and see Nigel Farage. I'm sure they would see Boris. I think there are a lot of folks that are absolutely fascinated by him. And Steve will jump in here. I mean, the fact that you just had that runoff in Georgia, and the fact that
Herschel Walker lost.
No, I know he lost, but the fact is it was close. He even got the fact that even one person voted for him. Forget what party he's from. It doesn't matter whether he's from the freaking Whig party. It doesn't matter.
That is the Whig party.
Yeah, he's insane. And the fact that he got, I don't know, 1 million or so votes, or 49%, is incredible. I mean, wow. You may not like Warnock, but geez, I mean,
welcome to America, my friend. This is like a bad B movie that you're watching at 2 o'clock in the morning.
But Steve, to be fair, that isn't something that is peculiar to the US at all.
No. This is nothing.
Well, watching
candidates.
Do you have bad movies? Do you have bad movies on as well? Is that what you're saying?
Do you have what?
Bad movies?
Do you have bad movies on as well at 2 o'clock in the morning? You said that was similar to what was happening with Steve. Did I miss something here? No.
Apparently, I do. Yes. No.
That's look at this. There's 3 old farts apparently are doing the show today. It's amazing. So that's very cool. Well, here's the cool thing, gentlemen. Before we go off on another diatribe, we actually have to go and now do another show with someone else. And that's very sad.
Is he as interesting as Roald?
Nobody is as interesting as Mr. Woods.
Oh, sorry.
So we're gonna say good. Wait.
Pickings must be slim. Yeah.
No, we're gonna say goodbye, but we're gonna talk to Mr. Woods after and figure out when the next show is, and then we're gonna figure out what we're doing for the new year. And the new year, we may actually do these live. And if we do them live, you will be able to actually type your comments in and ask Mr. Woods and us questions, which is really, you're screwed then. And we'll go from there. So that could be kind of interesting. Yeah.
That'd be great.
So we're going to work on that.
I enjoy the live thing. Like when I used to do talk radio. That is you get some crazy trolls, and they're actually almost the best kind of guests.
Yep. So we will start doing live right after the new year. So coming back in season 2, as David likes to say, we will do a live. All our shows with Mr. Woods will be live. So you guys can ask questions and comments and do whatever you'd like to do. So that'll be kind of fun. But until then,
anybody would want to ask us a question. Yeah,
I know. God, you never know. Maybe Urban Hawker. Maybe
if this is your source. Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? So, gentlemen, it's both a pleasure. David and Roll, I'll see you both. We'll talk after the show. And everyone, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. And we'll have one more show before the end of the year, so we'll all be able to wish a happy holidays. So, we guys see you soon.
Hopefully, it will be as intellectually stimulating as this one.
I hope so.
And I hope you're as warm as I am right now. I know it's cold up there. Here it's positively baking. Does that make you feel better, Dave?
Much better.
It does, because I'm free. If you knew what brass monkeys were,
I do.
Say good night,
I do. Yeah. Is that